"Don't embarrass me at my cousin's wedding," she ordered, then tried to sit me at a different table so her male best friend could take my spot. I left quietly. By the time I reached my car, she'd left 6 voicemails, each one more frantic, sobbing that she didn't mean it like that, and begging me to please just talk. Hey viewers, before we jump into the video, make sure to hit that subscribe button and give this a like if you want more stories like this. Thanks. So hey Reddit, I really need to unload this somewhere. It's been a few months now, and honestly, looking back, it's almost comical how clueless I was. But when it was happening, it hurt like hell. I'm 28, work as an IT consultant, the dependable, steady type. My now ex, Sarah, 27, is a graphic designer. We'd been together for 2 years, settled into a cozy apartment in a mid-sized city. At least I thought we were actually building a future together. Right from the beginning, I was committed. Sarah lost her job shortly after we started dating, some freelance gig that vanished suddenly. I didn't think twice. I covered rent for a few months, helped her update her portfolio, even reached out to contacts to get her interviews. She eventually landed a decent job, and everything seemed fine. I made sacrifices without complaining. Like last year, when my friends organized a mountain weekend, hiking, beers, the whole plan. I backed out to help Sarah move into my place after she was evicted. I told myself that's what love looks like. We talked about the future too. Marriage someday, possibly kids. I wasn't in a rush, but I made it clear I was serious. She'd always tell me how much she appreciated my steadiness. "You're my rock, Alex," she'd say whenever she had a rough day. But in hindsight, there were warning signs I pushed aside. She had this male best friend, Jake, in her life since college. He worked in sales, always showing off that charming grin and posting his adventures online. Sarah insisted it was purely platonic, but she lit up every time he texted, and they hung out alone more often than I liked. I'd bring it up carefully, and she'd shoot back, "You're being paranoid. Jake's like a brother." Then it slowly escalated. Sarah began comparing us. "Jake's so outgoing. He's the life of every room," she'd say after a party where I chose to stay quiet. Or, "Why can't you be more spontaneous like Jake? He surprised me with concert tickets last week." I swallowed it, convincing myself I was being sensitive, but piece by piece it wore me down. Then came her social media posts. Photos of her and Jake at cafes or events. Captions like, "Best times with my favorite adventure buddy," followed by a shining star emoji. No mention of me, even though I was the one funding half of those outings. The biggest blow was her cousin's wedding. It was a big deal. A charming venue in a small town about an hour out. Outdoor ceremony, twinkling lights at the reception, the whole romantic setup. Sarah was hyped for weeks. She was close to her cousin, and I think she liked the idea of showing off. I was excited too. I'd met her family a few times, and they seemed to like me. I rented a sharp suit, got her cousin a thoughtful gift, and even practiced some dance moves because Sarah loved dancing. But the closer we got to the day, the stranger she became. She'd snap over tiny things. Like if I suggested a tie, "Don't wear that one. It looks too stiff." And, of course, Jake was going. "He's family friends," she said casually. The morning of the wedding, while getting ready, she kept giggling at her phone. I glanced over. Jake was sending her wedding memes. I let it slide. We arrived. The ceremony was beautiful, and Sarah stayed glued to my hand, smiling like everything was perfect. But after the ceremony, during cocktail hour, she pulled me aside. Her whole vibe shifted, condescending, almost like she was coaching a kid. "Listen, Alex," she said, giving a quick look around to make sure no one heard. "Don't embarrass me tonight, okay? This is a big event for my family. Jake's amazing at mingling. He knows how to charm everyone. Just try to blend in." I stared at her, confused, this sinking feeling forming in my gut. "Embarrass you? I'm here to support you. What are you talking about?" She rolled her eyes, that smug little smirk appearing. "You know what I mean. Your work stories are kind of dull. IT stuff doesn't exactly captivate a crowd, and you're so quiet sometimes. Jake's got these hilarious sales stories. People love him. Just don't take over conversations. All right, let him take the lead when we're with my aunts and uncles." Her words land like a slap. I'd spent countless hours listening to her vent about work, hyping her up, making her feel supported, and now suddenly I'm the dull one. But I swallow it. I nod, forcing a tight smile. "Sure, whatever makes you happy." The reception begins, and we're seated with her immediate family, parents, siblings, everyone, a prime spot right next to the dance floor. I'm in the middle of a polite conversation with her mom when Sarah urgently beckons me over. Jake's standing beside her, looking polished and confident, wearing that same grin like he owns the entire place. "Alex, babe," Sarah says quietly, firmness threading through her voice. "There's been a seating mistake. Jake was assigned to a terrible table in the back. Can you switch with him? He fits better here. My family adores him." You don't mind, right? It's only for dinner. I freeze. The table is full. Her parents, her brother, her aunts. If I switch, I get bumped to some random table with strangers, while Jake gets treated like the favored guest. And everyone will see it happen. Sarah, that's our table. I'm your boyfriend. Why should Jake be sitting there instead of me? She exhales sharply, irritation rising like I'm somehow being difficult. Don't make this into a thing. Jake's more outgoing. He'll keep the vibe fun. And you're introverted. It's not a big deal. It's just one night. Besides, he just went through a tough breakup. He could use the family atmosphere. You'll be fine at the other table. Just go with it. Her logic twists in on itself. I'm her partner, yet Jake is the one who fits. And she tosses in his breakup as if that magically justifies pushing me aside. She looks almost proud of the explanation, like she's being reasonable. Seriously, Alex, she insists, arms folding across her chest. Don't be selfish. This is my cousin's wedding. It's about family. Jake's practically family. You'll survive a couple of hours on your own. Heat builds in my chest, but I don't raise my voice. Her family glances over, sensing tension. And Jake stands there, wearing that faint, victorious smirk like he's already secured his spot. If that's how you feel, I say evenly, my voice calm, then enjoy the night. I turn and walk off, weaving between tables without hesitation. No scene, no pleading, just complete detachment. By the time I reach the parking lot, my phone is buzzing nonstop. 6 voicemails already, each one sounding more frantic than the last, but I ignore them. I slide into my car, start the engine, and pull away in silence, confusion churning in the pit of my stomach. Why was I always the fallback? The one who got pushed aside whenever something or someone more exciting came along? It stung deeply, but I refused to chase her. Not this time. The hour-long drive felt endless. The highway blurred under the streetlights as I replayed everything, Sarah's eyes flicking to Jake like he was the prize, her dismissiveness as if I were some replaceable placeholder. Why had I accepted it for so long? The comparisons, the subtle insults, the way she'd prioritize him and loop me in later as an afterthought. I'd convinced myself it was my insecurity talking, that real love meant letting the small things go. But this wasn't small. This was her choosing to publicly sideline me at a wedding, the exact place where loyalty is supposed to matter most. I didn't scream or cry. Instead, a heavy numbness settled in, like I was finally seeing the truth I'd been dodging. By the time I pulled into our apartment lot, my phone was exploding with more notifications. First the texts, "Alex, where did you go?" Then, "This is ridiculous. Come back. You're making me look bad." "My family's asking where you are." Finally, I went through the voicemails one at a time, engine still running. The first, "Babe, what the hell, you just left. I didn't mean it like that. Jake's just more social. Call me." The second, "Okay, fine. Be upset, but you're ruining the night for me. My family keeps asking where you went. This is embarrassing," I remember thinking. The third voicemail rolled in, her voice shaky. "Alex, please, I get it. You're upset, but it's not a big deal. Jake's sitting here now, but whatever, just talk to me." The fourth was more urgent, the reception music fading behind her words. "I'm sorry if it sounded wrong. You know I love you. Don't do this. Come back, or at least pick up." The fifth came with sniffles. "Why are you ignoring me? This really hurts. I didn't think you'd blow out of proportion like this. Please just talk to me." The sixth? Full-on sobbing. "Alex, I'm freaking out. What if you got in an accident? Please call me. I need to know you're okay. I messed up, okay? I'm begging you." Listening to them, there was a clear pattern, from annoyed to apologetic to desperate. But as I sat there hearing her voice shift, one truth hit me hard. She wasn't sorry for what she'd done to me. She was sorry her night wasn't unfolding perfectly. Sorry that her curated image was cracking in front of her family. Not once did she mention how it must have felt to be shoved aside. No real accountability. I deleted every voicemail, powered off my phone, and headed inside. That night, I packed a small bag, essentials, some clothes, my laptop, toiletries, and checked into a cheap motel. I didn't want to be around when she stumbled home drunk, ready for theatrics. The next morning, I unblocked her long enough to send a single text. "We're done. I'll move my things out this week. Don't contact me." Then I blocked her again. No explanations, no back and forth. I called in sick to work, but really I needed the day to myself. I hit the gym, something I'd been neglecting because Sarah always insisted on couple time. I pushed through a brutal workout, sweat pouring, my head clearing. Why had I given up so much? The canceled trips, the extra hours to cover her expenses, the way I dimmed myself so she could shine. That wasn't love. That was me playing doormat. In the following days, I kept everything low-key. I rented a storage unit and moved my belongings out while she was at work. Changed the locks. The lease was in my name anyway. I didn't blast anything on social media, didn't rant to friends. I simply detached, ipped out of her orbit. I threw myself into work, picked up a big project, volunteered for overtime. On weekends, I started hiking again, something I used to love before she subtly pulled me away from it. Slowly, the confusion lifted and clarity took its place. Her betrayal, ugly as it felt, ended up being a strange kind of gift. It let me go. Little updates trickled in through mutual acquaintances who still thought we were together. They mentioned Sarah partied hard at the wedding after I left. She danced with Jake all night, uploaded stories like nothing had happened. Best night ever, family vibes, with clips of her twirling around with Jake front and center. But cracks surfaced even then. A friend said Jake got too handsy on the dance floor, and though Sarah brushed it off with a laugh, her cousin had apparently pulled her aside to express concern. Then karma rolled in, slowly at first, like a storm gathering. About a week later, I got a neutral update from a buddy who'd been at the wedding. Jake and Sarah had a massive fight a few days after the event. Turned out Jake wasn't just the best friend. He'd been flirting nonstop, using the wedding to schmooze and collect leads for his sales hustle. He'd schmoozed her whole family for sales leads, landed a couple introductions, and then vanished the moment she tried to push the connection further. But it got uglier. During their blowout, he snapped and called her clingy, unstable, said he'd only stuck around because she got him into events like the wedding. Then some of the texts leaked. A screenshot floated around their friend group. You're fun for a night, but you're way too much drama. Stick with your boring boyfriend if you want stability. Sarah unraveled fast. She called out sick repeatedly, blowing a major client project. Her manager slapped her with probation. Her family, who'd watched the whole seating debacle, turned on her. Her mom, who'd always been kind to me, apparently tore into her. How could you treat Alex like that? He was nothing but good to you. Her cousin unfollowed her after the drama escalated. Even her friends pulled back. A couple of mutuals messaged me quietly, saying they'd noticed the red flags with Jake, but Sarah refused to listen. One even said, "We saw the way she posted things knowing it would hurt you. Sorry we didn't say anything sooner." She ended up isolated, crashing on her brother's couch after I refused to let her back into the apartment. She spiraled into retail therapy and late nights out, stacking up credit card debt. Her social media went silent, then resurfaced with vague growth posts that screamed regret. It was almost poetic. She'd been terrified I'd embarrass her, yet her own choices made her the family cautionary tale. Jake moved on quickly, attaching himself to someone new, flexing his latest conquest online. Still unstable, still hopping between jobs, always chasing attention. I didn't celebrate her downfall or go looking for updates, but hearing them only cemented what I'd started to rebuild. My routines stuck. I kept hitting the gym, landed a promotion, and even began dating again. Slowly, nothing rushed, just enjoying my space and peace. The sting of unfairness faded, the question, why me, slowly dissolved, replaced by confidence. She'd been the chaos, I became the calm afterward. Of course, those early voicemails weren't the end. If anything, they were just the opening act of her frantic attempts to pull me back. During the first week, I left my phone on silent, focused on rebuilding, but she kept finding ways around the blocks. Burner numbers, email, even LinkedIn. It started off lukewarm, like she was testing boundaries. About 10 days later, an unknown number called. I let it hit voicemail, but curiosity won. Her voice was shaky, but still trying to sound composed. "Alex, it's me. Look, I know you're upset, but we need to talk. That seating thing was stupid, okay? I was stressed about the wedding. Jake's just a friend. You overreacted by leaving. Call me so we can fix this." Fix this? As if publicly bumping me to the sidelines was a minor inconvenience. I deleted it. Then the friend network messages began. Her best friend Mia texted, "Hey Alex, she's a wreck. She didn't mean it. Jake's a jerk, but give her a chance." Another came from her brother. "Dude, she's crying non-stop. The family's mad at her too. But man, don't ghost. Let's grab a beer and talk it through." Then her family got involved, and that's when it turned nasty. Her mom called from a landline. Number looked familiar. I answered thinking it might be serious. "Nope. Alex, this is ridiculous," she snapped. "Sarah told me everything. Switching seats? That's nothing to end a relationship over. You're being immature," she apologized. "Come over for dinner so you two can talk. People make mistakes." I stayed cool. "With respect, your daughter made her decisions. I'm moving on," she scoffed. "Moving on? After everything she's struggled with? Jake was just being nice. You're throwing away 2 years because you got jealous. Think about her feelings." Her feelings. Not one mention of mine. I hung up and blocked the number. Then her aunt messaged me on social media. Dripping guilt. "Blood is thicker than water, Alex. She needs you. Don't be the villain. It escalated. Sarah showed up at my apartment one night, pounding on the door. I didn't open it, just listened. "Alex, I know you're in there. Please, open the door. I messed up. Jake's a jerk. He ditched me after the wedding. Said I'm too emotional. I know you were right. Please, let's talk. I miss you. We can get back to how we were." How we were? Me as her safety net? I stayed quiet, until she left. She cried off and on for 20 minutes, then vanished down the hall. A few days later came the anger. A call from another unknown number. Her again, voice full of venom. "You think you can just ignore me after everything I put up with? Your boring routines, your safe little life? I still chose you. And now I'm the bad guy? Jake was a mistake, but you're the one acting insane. Pick up or I'll show up at your job. We're not done." There it was, her real self, twisting the story until I became the villain. When I didn't entertain her drama, that was suddenly the true crime. I kept the voicemail for safety but ignored her completely. Her last big attempt was a long, messy email. She rambled about how she'd grown, admitted Jake crossed lines, but blamed stress, family pressure, even me, for not standing up for us at the wedding. "I deserve a second chance," she wrote. "You still love me, don't you?" "No." And realizing that was freedom, her desperation only made the truth clearer. I'd dodged a disaster. Friends told me she'd spiraled further, lost a freelance job after missing deadlines, partied too hard, burned bridges. Even her own family backed off when I politely told her brother to stop reaching out. It all came to a head about 2 months later at a mutual friend's birthday. I debated skipping it, a chill gathering at a local bar, but I'd started reconnecting with old friends and life felt steady again. I'd gotten that promotion, dropped some weight, felt sharper. And yeah, I was seeing someone, Emily, a marketing coordinator I met on a hiking trip. No chaos, no mixed signals. She appreciated my stability and even laughed at my IT jokes. We weren't serious yet, but it felt real. We walked in together, and there was Sarah, crashing the party uninvited. She spotted me immediately, eyes widening. She looked worn down, hair unkempt, smile forced. She approached at us during a lull, voice trembling as she tried to maintain control. "Alex, hey, can we talk, privately?" Emily looked at me, curious, but I shook my head. "No need, Sarah. Enjoy the party." Sarah pressed forward, ignoring Emily entirely. "Please, I've been a mess. Jake was abusive, yelled at me, used me for those wedding intros, then ghosted. I lost friends, my job's a disaster, my family is furious. I finally understand what I had with you. I was arrogant, stupid. Let me fix it, we can start fresh." Her admission of everything, yet somehow still centering herself, was almost ironic. I stayed steady. "You made your priorities pretty clear that night. Jake fit better. That logic still applies. I found someone who fits mine. Emily and I are building something real. You're not part of that." She flushed, glanced at Emily, who stayed calm beside me. The shift in power was unmistakable, me thriving, her unraveling. "But I love you," she pleaded. "Doesn't that matter?" I met her eyes, expression flat. "It means you learned something. But my life has moved on. Focus on yours." She stumbled away, misty-eyed, muttering something bitter. Left early, according to friends. I didn't think about her again. I danced with Emily, laughed with friends, and blocked every possible route of contact for good. Update: it's been a few months since that night. Word is Sarah's still single, downgraded to an entry-level job, and her family's keeping distance after the full truth came out. As for me, work's going great. Emily and I are official now, and we're planning a trip together. No drama, no chaos. The wedding fiasco feels like another lifetime. I walked away with self-respect, and karma handled the rest. What do you think, Reddit? Did I handle this right? Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the like button. Drop your thoughts in the comments.